In the book Confessions of a Born-Again Pagan, Anthony Kroneman, former dean of Yale Law School, tells his story of developing a deep faith in the natural world. Kroneman takes the reader on an intellectual journey pursuing meaning in this world. For decades of his life, Kroneman pursued a meta-narrative, some great overarching explanation of this aliveness in which we cohabitate. In his journey from the Abrahamic traditions to Aristotle and beyond, Kroneman longed for an intellectually honest narrative of the meaning in the world that would also touch his spirit. He wrote, "A life without the yearning to reach the everlasting and divine is no longer recognizably human." While Kroneman could not accept supernatural explanations of the world, he still needed a story, a meaning-making narrative that honored the awe and the mystery and the power that is honestly alive in the natural world. Like many Unitarian Universalists, Kroneman eventually found the marriage of intellectual honesty with awe and divinity in the philosophy of Spinoza, who understood divinity as, quote, "the eternal intelligibility of the world itself, now expanded to include the whole of reality." The eternal intelligibility of the world itself, now expanded to include the whole of reality. This is as close to an intellectually honest definition of the word God as one can come, but also the word God is not necessary in it. It could just as easily be called the universe, or the mystery, or the great unknown. The Tao Te Ching says, "The unnameable is the eternally real. Naming is the origin of all particular things. Free from desire, you can realize the mystery. Caught in desire, you can only see the manifestations. And yet, the mystery and the manifestations arise from the same source." Put more simply, God is the name of the blanket we put over the mystery to give it a shape. That quote is from Barry Taylor, the road manager for AC/DC. Taylor became a Christian during AC/DC's Highway to Hell tour and is now an Episcopal priest because the mystery is a shape-shifting trickster, playful and curious and funny. Unitarian Universalism's approach to God is collectively agnostic. Within us, we have individuals who believe a variety of different things about God, from atheism to humanism, to Judaism, to paganism, to Christianity, to religious naturalism. Collectively, we believe that what you know about God is a piece of the truth. We believe that each of our individual understandings are one jewel of a shining kaleidoscope of the whole truth, one piece of the intelligibility of the world. In seminary, one of my closest friends, PK, was a religious naturalist. I was a theist, but again and again when we were in class together, we made very similar meanings of the same stories, and we just used different names, different language in our interpretations. After many conversations trying to zero in on exactly where it was that we disagreed and arrived at these different namings of things, we drilled our difference down to this. I believe that the universe, or all that is conscious and benevolent, and PK did not. But then, when I would explain further, qualify that this universe consciousness is infinite, and therefore completely unlike and unintelligible to a tiny finite human being like myself, PK would say, well, yeah, that's true. And we would be back on the same page again. The eternal intelligibility of the world itself now expanded to include the whole of reality. A couple of years ago, when the solar eclipse's path of totality crossed North America, PK shared this story. This is PK writing now. The universe ensured I had the opportunity to observe an astronomical event from the exact overlook used by the Hohokam to do the same 800 years ago. Now for you all, this is just a side note, the Hohokam civilization lived for about 1,500 years, starting around the time of Christ, in the area that we currently call Arizona. They were expert farmers with the most intricate irrigation systems of any civilization in North America, and they had complicated economic and political systems and made beautiful petroglyphs. So PK again. By the greatest of happenstances today, I saw the solar eclipse. It went like this. A, I forgot the eclipse was happening. B, I went hiking on a new trail with two beloveds. We were up at 5:50 a.m. The hike was about an hour longer than we expected, and it was mostly uphill. C, on the way back down, one of these beloveds mentioned how they know an overlook where the petroglyphs of the Hohokam tribe are. Yes, please, PK says. We find these petroglyphs, and one is a symbol that I've heard relates to observing celestial bodies. D, a man is sitting at this overlook, wearing a Santa Fe t-shirt and looking up at the sky. I comment, I wonder, what are you looking at, sir? He sees us and he comes over and he offers us a few of his spare eclipse glasses. At which point I realize the changing quality of the light is due to, oh yeah, the eclipse. We could have easily missed it entirely. We weren't in the ring of fire, so it was partial. But instead, we were there, within the 5-minute window of the eclipse, with someone who was there to offer us the spare correct tool so we could actually see it from a location with deep significance for our human ancestors. PK concludes, feeling thankful. Gratitude. Gratitude is the natural response to an earthly abundance and beauty beyond anything any of us have ever earned. The great shining moon in the sky, pulling on our seas, the crashing of the waves on the shore in the exact beat that soothes the soul, the bird song telling our nervous systems we are safe, the warmth of our beloved's bodies, warm creatures nestled next to us, a fire, a cup of tea, the smell of the wet earth as spring shudders. The world, it sings. The universe sings to us. Our lives within it sing to us. And even in grief and mourning and loss, even in horror, the world keeps singing, keeps living on, insisting on interconnected beauty, intertwined, interwoven, knitted, entangled immortality. Kroneman wrote, "Although we as individuals cannot be immortal, the world is. And every increase in our understanding of it, every increase in our power to sing its song is a further, deeper experience of the deathlessness of the world." Kroneman's born-again pagan faith sees immortality in our interdependence with the world which lives beyond us. It is our dying that makes us immortal as we become part of the larger world yet again. And our living is what sings that world's song. In our living, we can align ourselves with the world's beauty and truth, and we can witness our entanglement in that interconnected immortality that lives on and on and on. Here is a truth that can hold us, whether or not we believe in a God by that name or any other. We are held in a larger reality out of which individual, temporary, finite lives spring for just a few minutes of animated glory, and then back into which they return. Death reconnects us to the larger living system. And though that system may change, may even become unrecognizable to humanity as we are today, the world, the universe, will live on for eons and eons, for time that is unimaginable. Every atom of matter, every wave of energy will live on, simply moving into a different form. Forever. The change of the form remains a reason to grieve, surely. Our bodies will all die. This form of living will die. This society will die. All of it, always, will keep changing. But even as that change means the death of temporary forms, because all forms are temporary, it also means the birth of new forms. This world, this universe, it will keep becoming. The aliveness, it does not stop, it just changes forms. And through all that change, love travels. Love that holds it, love that is larger than all the incomplete forms and changing reality. The ways that love shows up and the forms in which it comes will keep changing. And especially when we love mortal and fickle flesh, that change means loss. When we talk about faith, regardless of God, some sort of faith in something larger, faith in the universe, faith in the becoming, it means that we trust love is still there, will still be there, will show up again, even in another form. The memory of the departed beloved that will, yes, I promise, eventually make us smile. The giggle of the newborn baby who has grandma's eyes. The gentle warmth of the sun on our skin as the earth turns yet again to spring. The glory of hope for new life, beginning again, as it always will. Trust in the universe does not mean it will all work out as you specifically imagine it. It won't. It does not mean that death will be banished or you will be protected from loss. Death and loss and mortality and change, those will remain. But you can trust that love and goodness and joy and delight will return in their seasons, in new shapes, in something growing again and again and again. We can trust love to hold in the larger sense, bigger and beyond than the specifics, moving through people and changing shapes. Trust means that there will still be love on the other side of change, always and forever. Whatever name you give to the blanket you throw over the mystery, however you perceive it, however you understand its shape and make meaning of it, you can trust the movement of love and life and even death through the larger world, through the universe itself. Things will change, death will come, and there will be loss, and love will come back. Again and again, life and consciousness will keep reshaping themselves in an ever-evolving, infinitely unfolding song and dance of beauty and relationship that is beyond any finite, mortal reality. When Kroneman's mother was dying, the last thing that she said to him was, "The world comes back." He reflects, perhaps what she meant is this: that the world from which we are separated at birth returns to reclaim us at death, that it leaves no stragglers behind. The world comes back, always, and we return to it. The world sings to us, and our lives sing to it of an immortality that we can only achieve through becoming one with all that is. This beauty, this song, this grace of moon and water, particle and wave, fire and sun, bird song, and final release. We are entangled with it, with all of it, trying to discern its song through our lives, but in surrender, finally, perhaps, we just sing. May it be so.